Hey guys, thanks so much for tuning in. If you could like this video and hit subscribe and even leave a comment, I would really appreciate it. Enjoy the clip.
I want to bring it back to Goff. He was, from my understanding, worked under Rainwater, and Rainwater has this prolific history of creating a lot of the world's or the country's greatest investors, maybe the world. And then you kind of said, I went to Goff and I just got to hang around the hoop and I was a young guy. Very similar pattern to how, what did you learn from Goff? What has he taught you? But also, like, one day you're going to be Goff's age and, you know, God willing, your career continues to take off. What is the magic of that idea of letting young people come in and hang around the hoop that kind of take the ball and run with it? It seems to have been a unique pattern in kind of this lineage of folks that keep coming out of the system.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the first thing is really intellectual freedom. I mean, I and even when I was, super green, super green, didn't know anything. I didn't sit there all day with a list of tasks that he wanted me to do. It's like, go do this and this and this. And, you do all these, rote tasks and you clock out at the end of the day and you come back the next day. There was never any of that. And, I would say early on in my career, I wasn't very productive. I mean, that's kind of the downside of that. But it's, his view was, you're here to create value and, let me know when you see it. But it wasn't this thing where it's like, hey, if you haven't come up with an idea this week, like I'm going to give you a talking to. I mean, you go months and months, if not a year, without coming up with anything. And there was never this pressure to put money to work just because I have it, or I want you to prove yourself. And so, it was, we'll go anywhere, we'll do anything, but we're looking for value and we want to make returns and have some fun doing it. And so that allowed me to look at a bunch of different things, a bunch of different industries. Sometimes I'd spend a year on an industry and come back and say, yeah, there's not really anything interesting to do there. And rather than saying, well, hey, you just wasted a year of, my money that I was paying you, it was great. Let's go find something else to do. So, that was a big thing for me. And then I think the other thing, and John talks about this a lot, about how, when Rainwater hired him, he wasn't quite sure kind of why. He had worked with him, but he was an accountant. And he says, Rainwater believed in me more than I believed in myself. And I think, that is certainly been my experience too. I mean, there were times when I felt like, man, I don't know if this is going to work out. And, he's just a huge cheerleader of saying, just stay focused, keep your head down. And I think that helped me immensely. And then I think the other thing that, that's going on there is, I'm in an office every day with, I'm assuming this is the same way with Rainwater, but I was in an office every day for 10 years with John and he's kind of this, very well-respected and almost kind of mythical person in a lot of circles about, how he's been able to do deals and make money and kind of follow on the legacy of Rainwater. But, I was in a really unique position to see, he's all that and more, but he's also a regular guy. And, he has problems and solutions and, bad days and good days. And, so that really taught me like, hey, yeah, I get it. John's really smart and really good at a lot of things that maybe I'll never be as good at those things, but maybe there are other things that I'm better than him at. And there is no reason why I can't do what he's doing. And that was kind of my view. And my guess is once he spent some time with Rainwater, he kind of said the same thing. That guy does some great things. I do some great things. There's nothing inherently stopping me from getting to where he is.
Yeah.
And, I talk a lot about, the key to life is low expectations, but that's really for your expectations of other people.
Yeah.
Your expectations of yourself have got to be really high, but, you're going to be really happy if your expectations of everybody else is maybe a little bit lower.
That is a perfect way to end the conversation. Thanks so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Chris.
This is awesome.